As we continue waiting for 2 or 3 minutes, we are waiting for a few members to come in. Before that, we can discuss some of the house rules. For any question that you may have, you put them on the Q&A session. For any chat you have, we're going to answer that. So welcome to today's webinar. I'm trying to see we have some more people joining in. You can tell us where you are at the moment. My name is Susan. I'll be hosting this webinar. And you're most welcome. The webinar is about mortgage. Welcome, Joseph. You can hear me. All right. Thank you very much. For the sake of time and to save our time, we have a guest speaker. Our guest speaker today is Judith. Judith is our credit manager. She will be taking us through the webinar, and I would like to invite her. Judy, if you are available, please put your camera on so that we can start.
Can you enable me to put my camera on?
Okay.
Still waiting for your...
Yes, I can. Yes, I'm doing that. I can see you, Judy.
Okay.
Welcome, Judy.
My slides on presentation mode.
Yes, I can see the slides. Welcome, Judy, and take us through this evening.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you, members, for taking time to join the webinar. I'll take you through the mortgage products that we have, and I'll walk you through the eligibility process, the type of mortgages we have, the interest rates, the mortgage process, and I'll try to go through my slides a bit fast so that we can have more time for Q&A. The reason for this webinar is because you've been receiving a lot of questions in regards to the mortgage process, and we just wanted to enlighten members on how a member is eligible for the mortgage, what are the processes involved, and some of the challenges that you've been experiencing, feedback from the members, processes that you want us to enhance. So just to hear from you as well, and also to respond to questions that you may have. So I'll begin with eligibility. Who is eligible for a mortgage product at Safaricom Sacco? So a member must be, definitely one has to be a member. So we have had most questions from members, especially with the Mlete Ndani campaign coming through, and members are having some of their relatives or family members in general wanting to join, or friends. And they're bringing up questions like, I have a friend at KCB, NCBA, and they want to transfer their mortgage. Can you have that transferred immediately? So one has to be a member. So first, you need to be a member to be able to enjoy our mortgage products. So as you bring in your friends and relatives, kindly advise them to be members so that they can be able to enjoy the mortgage products that we offer. And then a member must have consistently saved with the Sacco for 6 months. So we have members who join immediately and they request for the mortgage product. So a member needs to save consistently for 6 months before they enjoy the mortgage products. If you have surpassed the 6 months, definitely automatically you qualify. But the keyword is consistently saved. So you need to be consistent in your savings based on the minimum savings that is required. You need to be saving every single month to be eligible. Must be eligible for the loan applied. So we have had members who come with the request that for us to grant them loan facilities, and they say the collateral can cover the loan. For example, they say they have collaterals of 10 million and they're only requesting for 5 million, but they're not eligible to repay the loan. So eligibility comes first in terms of you being eligible for the loan that you're requesting for. So we will take you through how we are able to go through the process of eligibility and what follows after we have confirmed you are eligible. So first of all, the documentations that are required will also inform you on what documentations are required for you to ascertain that you're eligible. So first, you must be able to pay the loan before we proceed. So you also have to have a positive credit score and a good repayment history for both bank loans and Sacco loans. So we also have members who request for support in terms of funding or loan buy-offs, and they are negatively listed or they have not been paying the loans that they expect us to buy from the bank consistently, and definitely at that point they have arrears or they are not servicing the Sacco loan. So you must be in good credit standing by the time you're coming to request for a facility with us. So there are also documentations that are required. So I'll also take you through the documentations that are required. We have quite a backlog in terms of requests for mortgage applications. Then they are left midway because a member is not able to comply in terms of documentation, and I'll be able to take you through the documentation process. So this also delays the process of disbursements as well as the process of conveyance. So we're also keen in terms of the checklists. We also have a link to the checklist, which is also available on our website. In terms of the loan documentation checklist, what are the documents that you should provide as you come for the loan? So for you to be eligible, also there are documents that we require for compliance before we proceed with the loan. Then also to be compliant, you also expected to meet the monthly installments in terms of compliant with the monthly installments going forward. So if we agree on a monthly installments of let's say 36,000, we find that we have assessed your eligibility and you're eligible. We expect your compliance in terms of repayments consistently as per the loan schedule. Then we have different products. So I'll be addressing most of the frequently asked questions as I present in terms of the products that we have. Then touch in terms of giving clarity on areas that we are the most frequently asked questions. So in Safaricom Sacco, we have 3 mortgage products. We have 2 KMRC products and we have 1 in-house product, and I'll be able to take you through the difference between the products that we have. So we'll start with the KMRC Faraji Ready Home. So this is basically for ready home ownership, and it's majorly provided under the KMRC umbrella. And we have the construction mortgage, which is for construction, still under KMRC. So let me begin with the Faraji Ready Home. So this is a loan that is basically issued 10 times of a member's deposits. So if your deposits are X amount, we multiply by 10. That's basically what we mean. And you'll be eligible within the amount that is within times 10. Deposits top up is allowed. So we get questions, can I top up my savings? Yes, you can. If you don't have the savings equivalent to the amount you need, there's also a product called Quick Fix, where we add money to your, we give you a loan to top up to your savings. This loan should be equivalent to the savings that you have, should not be more than the savings that you have at the point you're coming to borrow the loan. Then we can support you top up the savings, but this is limited to up to $1 million in terms of financing on the savings, but up to the savings you have. For example, if you have 200,000, we can only finance a quick fix of up to 200,000. If you have $1 million, up to $1 million. So we don't go beyond $1 million. Hope that is clear. Maximum repayment period, 25 years. So that's the 300 months. So basically, those are the repayment periods. Interest rate is 8% per annum on a reducing balance. So this is basically 0.667 per month. So quite affordable looking at the market rates and also the increase in terms of bank rates that are currently being issued. This is quite affordable looking at the market rate. Processing fee is 0.5% of the loan issued. Financing, we do up to 105%. So there's also an area of clarity that is needed here. Most of the frequently asked questions are also around this 105%. We mean we will finance 100% of the mortgage value and 5% covers the legal costs. So the legal costs will be shared by our lawyers in terms of the panel of lawyers that we have. Then we'll be able to finance you the legal fees that you'll have on the invoice, on the note, and we'll be able to pay the lawyers once the loan is disbursed. So basically, that's what we mean by 105 financing. You must have a member must consistently saved with the Sacco for a minimum of 6 months, as I've said. And then the maximum repayment, the maximum amount in terms of the loan limit for this product is 10.5 million. The product is basically for owner-occupier. We have not started the commercial loans yet, mortgages yet, but things are looking up and we might also have, we are looking into starting the venture, but now we are at this point that we are only financing the owner-occupier properties for now. Then also under this umbrella, we also allow loan buy-offs. So we also allow members to transfer their mortgages from the banks to the Sacco, and I'll also guide on the documentations that are needed for that to be done. So basically, that's the Faraji Ready Home. Then we have the Faraji Construction. So this is basically to support members on construction of houses they may have, and also to, as we monitor the disbursements progressively. So basically the same as multiplier as the Faraji Ready Home, 10 times. The maximum repayment period still the same, 300 months. The interest rate is different in terms of the construction loan is at 9% per annum. The processing fee is still the same. Financing up to 105%, still as I explained on Faraji Ready Homes, 105%. Must have consistently saved with the Sacco for minimum of 6 months, still the same as Faraji. Maximum loan limit is also 10.5 million. And also this is for owner-occupier houses. Then we have an in-house mortgage. We normally call it Ustawi loan. So basically, this was the loan that we had from inception before the KMRC brought in the subsidized interest rate mortgages. And this is how the terms for the Ustawi loan are. The loan is issued 10 times of deposits, still the same as Faraji loan. Maximum repayment period is 20 years. Remember, for the Faraji home, for KMRC mortgage, it's 25 years. So for the Ustawi loan, is 20 years. The interest rate is 12% per annum. The processing fee is 0.5%. Financing is up to 105%. I've explained what that means. The member must have consistently saved with the Sacco for 6 months, still the same terms. The maximum loan amount is 20 million. So you'll find there's a difference in terms of the maximum loan for Faraji and for Ustawi. So for Faraji is at 10.5 for the in-house mortgage, which is Ustawi, is 20 million, the maximum loan. Though if there are loans above the 20 million, don't feel shy of sharing your proposal. Share. We'll have a look at it and have considerations made on subject to eligibility and also in line with the credit policy. So if there's any loan above 20 million, we have flexibility on Stawi, but we don't have flexibility on KMRC because this is a government issued loan and they don't have much of the flexibility in terms of the interest rates, the maximum loan amount they issue. So we can only have flexibility under Ustawi. So basically, that's the terms of the loan. Then the mortgage buy-off is also allowed. So basically, those are the three. What are the when a member? So let's focus on Faraji similar. So we combine them in terms of the process flow. So step one, where do we start? The member starts from eligibility. So what are the documents that eligibility? So for check, a copy of your ID and the sale agreement. So we'll find members who have sale agreement at the point they come for appraisal. You'll find the members who already have the banks, the certified bank statements as well. Also, it can be provided at this stage. So we basically assess your eligibility and inform you on if you're eligible or not, or what you need to do to be eligible. For non-check-off members, this means salaried members. So you're not on check-off, but you're salaried, but your monthly deductions or monthly contribution and loan repayment is not shared by your HR directly. So what you need, the documents you need are 3-month certified payslip, sale agreements, 6-month certified bank statements, introduction letter, and a copy of ID. Just to clarify, sometimes the sale agreement might not be the final, like the approved sale agreement, but you can have, some members have already sale agreement, some don't, some don't. So if you don't have, it's okay. You can just, we can just assess your eligibility, then give you feedback if you're eligible or not, then engage your lawyers after. So this is just for the sake of those who have already sale agreements at hand when they're coming for eligibility analysis. Individual members, these are members who are in business, basically in business in general, or even both in who are in Kenya or even diaspora. We also require business registration certificate, CR12. Those who are having rental income, we need a rental schedule, tenancy agreement, copy of ID, 6-month certified bank statement, and invoices. So these are basically for those who have businesses and their invoices that are paid. The members are paid by invoices. We'll just sample a few and be able to confirm with the bank's credits just to verify the cash flow. So the SLA for stage 1 is within 24 hours. Eligibility analysis, feedback should be issued within 24 hours. Stage 2, investigate the property. The member now investigate the property and now can be able to engage their lawyers before they come in now with a finalized sale agreements, then they can be able to share. Then at this point now, we request the member to certify the bank statements. For example, if they're requesting for a buyoff from the bank, sometimes at stage 1, the statement has been shared that has not been certified. So we insist for certification or an email confirmation from the bank to confirm the authenticity of the statements that has been provided. So if that has not been provided at stage 1, you can provide us still at stage 2. So this is basically dependent on the member to provide the documents that are required. And once they have been provided, we move to stage 3. So stage 3 is the loan application. At this stage, the member is required to submit the loan application form and share all the required documents, including a copy of the title deed or lease. So at this point, we normally have a bit of a gap. So when you're coming for us with the loan application, kindly share with us the copy of the title from the seller. A copy is okay, not the original. A copy will do, so that we can be able to attach the copy of the title as we send our valuation instruction to the valuer. So that is one of the documentation that is normally not attached as the member is sharing the loan documentation. We move to stage 4. So stage 4 is the valuation stage. So the member shall be issued with a panel of Sacco valuers. So we normally have a panel of approved Sacco valuers. So we share with your member, you contact the valuers, then you agree on the valuation, on the cost of valuation. Then you'll share with us the fee note in terms of the fees that has been shared with you by the valuer. We normally verify and we normally advise members on a scale within this particular region. You should go, like the fees should be within this much, but I'll also take you through the negotiated costs that we have with the valuers depending on the location or the region or the area. So at this stage also we do an E&S assessment. This is basically a social, and we normally call it environmental and social assessment. This is normally done with the auditors as well as the valuers. And this is basically assessment of the property, the quality of finishing used on the property that you're financing. The environment is to confirm if the property is in a road reserve, it's aligned with the and as per the registry and so forth. So this process normally takes 7 to 14 working days, depending on the registry, meaning depending on how fast we get your search, because you also have to have a search attached to the evaluation report. So some registries, the normally challenges in getting such reports for some registries, but nowadays things are improving, and we are able to get the documents between 7 to 14 days. So this process of evaluation takes between 7 to 14 days, depending on the registry. Some take even a week, and we have the report ready. So basically that's it. Then stage 5, we go to loan approval. So this is whereby we have received the evaluation report, we have gone through the evaluation report, we have gone through the ENS report from the auditor, and we have verified that the loan is okay in terms of the checks and the compliance as per the credit policy. And now we've shared the loans for circulation for internal approval, and this is basically approval for management and also to the board. And this also now goes after the approval. Now we move to have a letter of offer drafted to you. And this letter of offer is also shared with the Sacco lawyer. So at this point as well, within 3 days, we should be able to also share with you the panel of Sacco lawyers, even as we progress with approval. So for you to select a lawyer from the panel, that from the Sacco panel that you'll be using for conveyance purpose. Then after that, we will have the letter of offer shared with yourself and the lawyer. So the lawyer will also be shared with the letter of offer. Upon receipt of the letter of offer, they'll prepare a charge, whereby also prior to that, our internal legal counsel will have a charge instruction issued to the external lawyer. Then the external lawyer will also provide a charge therein. So this is also a process that we normally have a lot of maybe delays for members, maybe to share their marriage certificates, get spousal consents, and also from internally, we'll also be improving in terms of circulations for signatories to sign the charge documents. So we are currently improving the how to have this aligned in terms of minimizing delays on our side in terms of circulation of charge. So we are also automating some of these processes for us to also ensure that we have the circulations done very as soon as possible. So we also request for compliance in terms of once the Sacco lawyer requests for documentation, can you provide very fast for us to be able to lodge the charge as soon as possible. So this should take within an SLA of 4 weeks maximum, depending on the registry as well. So that's it in terms of conveyance. So if we move to the stage 7, we now move to insurance. So the house also needs to, the property, if I may say, needs to be insured, and the member will be notified to engage insurance companies, and the insurance companies are which will be provided with the Safaricom Sacco credit officers. You select one insurer, then you'll be able to insure your property via fire and peril insurance, and also mortgage life insurance policy. Also note, the policy should be renewed yearly. So we'll be sharing notifications on renewals, as well as have this clearly stated on the terms and conditions for the insurance renewal on the letter of offer. We move to stage 8. Stage 8 is disbursements. So once the insurance policy has been paid, and the costs, just to also specify, the cost of valuation, the cost of charge, and the insurance costs are normally paid by the member. And if you can also engage the service providers prior, and the cost can also be included on the loan, as I've mentioned. So just to clarify that. So once we have the insurance closed, and we have the every documentation is ready, we have assessed the charge documents, we confirm the charge has been duly lodged, and we now proceed to disbursement. At this point, we'll recover the 0.5% processing fee, and then a member will be required to fill an EFT form for the funds to be transferred to the vendor. So to the vendor. Now, at this point, we normally have a bit of delay because most members are not aware that they're supposed to fill an EFT form to enable the funds to be transferred to the vendor. So kindly, once the loan has been disbursed, you'll receive a message. Then there'll be an EFT form that you can download on our portal and fill and share with us for support in terms of transfer to the vendor. So this will be subject to the undertaking. The undertaking will also be shared with the Sacco for sign-off, and also you have visibility on the same, especially for loan buy-off. So this is majorly undertaking between banks or the seller and yourself. So we'll also share with you. So as well as this point, you'll also be required to fill a standing order. So you'll be required to fill a standing order or direct debit even before the funds are transferred. So also ensure that even you can start the process of filling a direct debit or a standing order at stage 7, so as to save time in terms of having these funds transferred as soon as possible by the time we get to stage 8. So this should take an SLA of 24 hours in terms of having the funds transferred to the vendor. Then stage 9, we basically monitor the loan performance at this stage. Some members who are on checkoff sometimes ask, I didn't know the money was, I was supposed to pay from my salary. Yes, if you're on checkoff, the deduction will still be from your salary. Even if you're saying you have other sources of income, will only factor in the salary deductions. And some members normally forget to fund their accounts to enable us have the loan repaid on time. So as you have the loan issued, can you also ensure that your account is funded to enable the loan to be repaid. So very fast, we go through the construction loan. So we normally get quite a number of questions on the construction loan. I'll try to clarify most of the frequently asked questions. So this is the second loan. The only construction loan we have for now is the construction loan for the KMRC loan. Eligibility definitely is the same in terms of the eligibility assessment for the Faraji ready home. So I won't dive into it. The documents that are required for eligibility analysis, as per the first slide that the slide that I shared, we'll also share the slide so that you can be able to be familiar with the requirements. Still the same, SLA within 24 hours. So stage 2, so at this stage, we'll also investigate the property in terms of, basically the property is not yet there as of now, but the members to select an architect and then with a contractor. So at this point, they're just basically selecting the architect and the contractor. Just to clarify, you can use your architect and you can also use your contractor. You can also use an architect or a contractor provided by the Sacco panel. But if you use your architect or a contractor, or some members prefer using their own architect or a contractor, we'll have our QS assess the process, the stage, the milestones on the construction, with objective of ensuring that we have a qualified service provider who is handling the mortgage that we are lending out and the property that we are constructing. They'll also assess the documentations in terms of the paperwork or from the relevant boards in terms of architectural board and the contractor. So we'll also have this assessed. Stage 3, the architect to provide approved plans, architectural drawing, and bill of quantities. The member to obtain a contract agreement with the contractor for assessment. So at this point, we'll also assess the member's agreement with the contractor. So basically, those are the documentation that are needed at that stage. Then we go to stage 4, loan application, where your member fills the loan application and submits the loan form and the requirements that are stated in stage 3. Then we go through stage 5, with the evaluation done by the Sacco panel, Sacco providers, and basically the valuer will share reports that reflect the current value of the land and the expected value after completion, subject to the BQ, of course. So the applied amount so if the BQ will be, for example, 10 million and the value of the land is 5 million, we'll just use the value of the land, add it up and issue a loan equivalent to the same. So that is for those who are purchasing land, and for those who are not purchasing land, we'll just use the amount you're asking for as per the BQ. So that is basically the assessment that we do, as well as the environmental and social assessment in terms of the plants and the social environment, in terms of the confirming if the property is in a road reserve, is it the property contaminated by oil. And so there's a lot of assessments done here, which is done by our internal audit team. So this process should take 7 to 14 days to complete. And then we move to stage 6. Loan is approved and a letter of offer is issued. So at this stage, we approve the loan after assessment of the evaluation report, and as well as the E&S assessment report. And we issue the member with the letter of offer. So at this stage, stage 6 basically takes 3 days. Then stage 7 is conveyance and security perfection. So at this stage, which the title is transferred to the under the Sacco to the member. For example, if it was a purchase of land and the property was not in the member's name, so we'll do a transfer and charge and put our interest on the title. At this point, also the property is insured through the selected insurance providers. So you'll just insure for mortgage life insurance cover at this point. And then I'll be able to, we'll introduce another insurance towards the end. So basically this process takes 4 weeks max, depending on the registry. So it can take even 2 weeks, depending on the registry, if the relevant documentation on the charge will be lodged as soon as possible, or if the member will apply for a special board and have the registry charge, have our interest captured on time. So this is basically within an SLA of 4 weeks. Then stage 8 is disbursement. Disbursement is done in tranches. So for the construction loan is different. Unlike the ready home, we disburse in one block in terms of if the value of the mortgage was 10 million, we disburse 10 million in full. But for the construction mortgage, we will disburse the loan in tranches as per the BQ. So if the BQ first phase says disbursement is 2 million, we'll disburse 2 million, finish the first construction of 2 million. Our QS will assess, issue a report for approval. Then we will be able to issue the next tranches subject to his assessments. Also, we'll also share the cost of the QS, which we have currently engaged and negotiated on costs. So depending on the type of project we have, we'll have a discussion and a plan towards how much we'll be paying for assessments. Then at this point is where you have the fire and peril after the completion of the property, and after you have the certificate of occupancy issued, we now follow up for insurance for fire and peril. So this should take 24 hours for us to have the QS report shared, and then we have the loan, the tranches disbursed within 24 hours. Once disbursed, the loan is now is now being monitored as we progress in terms of repayments. Now, the common question here is normally how much am I paying in terms of if I'd applied for 10 million and the first tranche is 5 million, for example. Will I be having a standing order for the full repayment of 10 million or 5 million? So it depends. If you want to have the standing order for the full loan repayment of 10 million, well and good, your standing order will be running at the point. But we also allow standing orders for the amount that has up to the amount that has been disbursed. So that is what we normally allow, and they frequently ask questions at this point. Then what are the documentations for construction loan? So quite many, but we normally guide. So it's normally duly filled loan application form, copy of national ID and KRA PIN, certified payslip, copy of title deed, approved architectural and structural drawings by the respective counties. We need the originals. Bill of quantity, also originals. The BQ should be assessed by our QS from the Sacco panel. So this will be from our side. Proof of engagement with an architect, structural engineer, and a quantity surveyor for supervision. The professional should provide registration certificate from the respective registered boards or authorities. However, the keyword should be from the Sacco panel. So we normally insist for assessments to be done within our from our side. Project registration with the National Construction Authority. So the project must be registered with the National Construction Authority. Duly executed contractors agreement. Additional costs now are bared by the clients. So for example, if the additional costs, maybe you agree on the BQ of 10 million, but there's some adjustments you'd like to make that may inflate the costs. Also, we'll have our QS write a report on that, and you also give us a plan on how you're going to pay the extra amount, but not out of pocket. But also, we allow extra loan, additional loan, but subject to eligibility, but on a different product, not the mortgage itself. So the loan also include professional charges for architects and quantity surveyors. So they're normally, the cost also can be issued in terms of loans. And for example, if you need to pay the architects, the quantity surveyors, let us know on time so that we can be able to finance you in terms of having these costs met. So we move to costs. What are the costs? What are the costs involved? This is also one of the frequently asked questions. We normally have our internal legal officer or legal counsel who normally takes members through, but I'll touch on some of the costs that we have. So we have the valuation fees. We normally prefer that members pay the valuation fee upfront because now the valuers normally prefer to have the valuation paid upfront. This can be in cash, or we can give you a separate loan to have this funded. Then later on, we can support you in terms of consolidating the valuation fee into the mortgage loan. So basically, what are the fees? So as per they normally rely on the valuer scale of fees as per Cap 532 laws of Kenya, but we have negotiated with our valuers on loans below 20 million. We normally cap the fees at 40 million. So we noted that we've got feedback from members in terms of having exorbitant fees on some of the valuers that we had, and we had a negotiation with the members to make the process affordable for members because the fee, you can pay more on fees and end up spending so much money on fees. And as you also have these other costs made. So to balance this, we agreed with members 20 million and below, depending on the region, 40, will not go beyond a fee of 40,000. So there are no internal fees on our end, apart from the 0.5 processing fee, just to mention so that I don't focus on the internal application fees column. Then for mutation and maps, you pay 500 shillings per map as per the maps available for the property at the registry. Then we have the search by the valuer, it's normally 2,000, then VAT 16%. So on this 40,000, or let's say if it's 40,000 or 25,000, we normally have the costs included so that you don't go beyond 40,000. Then we have the legal conveyancing fees. We have so legal professional fee as per the LSK remuneration order. So we also have fees that have been negotiated internally. So we negotiated for a 30% discount for our members on the legal fees that they are charging members. So we'll also be guided by internal legal counsel in terms of if there's any support you need in terms of discounting. Kindly engage the external lawyers as well. They're normally flexible on discounting. So if your fee has been issued to you of, let's say, maybe 100,000, you can still negotiate and request normally a breakdown on the fees totaling 200. This will be in the breakdown that I'll go through: the stamp duty, the evaluation of land, the land rates. So they might all maybe sum to 70,000, 100,000. So you can still negotiate. So for stamp duty for transfer, 2% normally charge outside the municipality, 4% within the municipality. Valuation of the land registry, 5 to 10,000, depending on the registry. Land rates and rents depend on the outstanding rates that the property has. Stamp duty on charge, stamp duty on payable, duty payable 0.1% of the amount of mortgage amount of loan. For reconveyance, they charge 0.05% of the amount. Land Control Board consent is 5 to 15,000. Registration fee of the charge 1,000. Such is 2,000. So basically that's it in terms of the cost on the valuer and the lawyer. So we go to insurance costs. So this is also the cost that is normally borne by the member. The member will seek an insurance and for property and peril cover of 0.15%, and of the mortgage value, insurable value renewed annually. So once you have the mortgage insured this year, it will be renewed every year at 0.1% of the mortgage value, depending on the value at that time. Insurance costs to cover life and the property. So life insurance, dependent on the loan value, age of the borrower, to be renewed also every month. So this also depends on the age of the borrower and the loan value. Architects and contractors costs. So architect costs as per the Architects Control Board. QS costs. So this is as per the Quantity Surveyor Control Board. So these are normally vary and they use a scale, but we normally link the member and the service providers, or if they have they have sourced the service providers, the architects and the QS. We normally support in terms of negotiations, but the QS is normally internal, as I mentioned, sorry. So the QS will be the costs, in case you find the cost also a bit high, we normally discuss and negotiate. So these costs can be discussed, but there are some that can also not be discussed, like the stamp duty. Those are the costs that cannot be varied, especially the cost that goes to the government. That's definitely a standard, so those cannot be discussed. So approved plan costs as per the municipality under which the property is located. This will include NEMA, National Construction Authority certified, which are certified and a certificate of the prerequisite stamps as per the National Construction Authority. So this is also as per the NEMA, National Construction Authority, and also as per the national as per the National Construction Authority. So this is basically as per the scales for the different service providers, and some can't be negotiated, especially for NEMA, National Construction Authority. So basically anything that touches on government fees cannot be negotiated as much, but anything that touches on maybe the legal fee or the QS costs can be negotiated. So basically that's it in terms of costs. Over to you, Susan, for Q&A, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. We have quite a number of questions, and I will start. I'll read them. At least maybe the first 5 you can answer, and I'll start. If I have a mortgage in the Sacco but need a different type of loan, how would you calculate the amount I can for the second loan? And then can I take a loan to buy land? Uh, and the other one, what details do I need to take from the Sacco when filing for mortgage relief at the end of the year? Then there's somebody who is asking about Faraji. For Faraji, is the 10.5 marks the 100% financing or 105 financing? Um, do you provide loans for commercial property constructions? We can start with that, Judy.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll start with the last one. No, we don't provide loans. I'd answered this for commercial properties for now, but it's also feedback that you have received from members in terms of having a product to tailor-made for the same. So it's, let me say, a product that is in the kitchen. So for now, no, but we are looking at something towards that. So for now, no. So for the Faraji, I'd clarified on the 105% financing is also one of the frequently asked questions. So what we mean is this. So if the mortgage value, which is always 90% of the market value, is, let's say, 10 million, and the legal fees are, let's say, 200,000. So we'll finance 10 million 200,000. So that's what we mean. That's why I had a breakdown on my presentation, and I said the 100% means we will finance 100% of the mortgage value, and the 5% covers the legal fees. So this does not mean that we will cover 5% of the legal fees. We'll also finance 100% of the legal fees, subject to eligibility. And that's why we call it 105% financing, just to say we are going beyond the 100% mortgage value. So that's what we mean. Yeah, details on mortgage relief. Thank you very much. I'd forgotten to mention this. Yes, the benefits on mortgage reliefs. So after a mortgage loan has been issued, we provide you with a letter due to your HR confirming that you have been issued with a mortgage loan, and a loan schedule accompanying the letter. Then you share with your HR, and they'll be able to give you a relief, or a mortgage statement at the end of the year for those who are in business, and you can be able to calculate the interest that you are charged and be able to get a relief on the same as you're filing your returns. So if you have not received this, kindly let us know so that we can be able to give you a letter as well, so that you can be able to present to HR to get a mortgage relief. Thank you for that reminder. Yes, we give loans to buy land, but for mortgages, if you're buying land as a mortgage loan, you buy and build immediately. For normal loans, you can be able to get a normal loan, then buy a land. You can also have agreements with the seller to support you to wait for the conveyance process to be completed. For example, the loan is still under the seller's name, and they are not comfortable to have the title released to the Sacco as we do the security perfection. There's a letter we call the undertaking that can be written to the seller, and we can be able to give him comfort that you're eligible for the loan, and we confirm that we'll be able to pay them as soon as the conveyance process is closed. So this can be done under the normal loans, but if you're coming for a mortgage loan, we'll expect you to buy and build immediately. So we'll expect you to give us the quotation for the sale agreement, as well as the BQ and the architectural drawing, the same construction mortgage requirements for you to support you with a one-off disbursement in terms of having the cost of land also included on the mortgage value. Then we can be able now to issue the first tranche, pay the landowner, then issue the next tranches for different stages of construction. So that's how we treat the land purchase. I don't know. The first question was mortgage.
Okay. Okay, sorry, that one somebody has moved that.
Forgot the first question, sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. I will guide you. Let me take you through another set of questions. Also, are the construction funds dispersed in phases or wholly? If my construction is incomplete and I need to complete, can I get a construction loan? And can I use part of it to offset other loans that have taken previously for construction? Then, for a mortgage loan buy-off, can I choose the repayment period instead of 25 years? For the Faraji loan, am I eligible if my deposits don't qualify? Okay, sorry. If the house is 15 million and I pay 5, then the Sacco can cover the. Okay, somebody is moving that. Judy, please proceed first on those questions.
Okay, thank you. Those some questions were not clear, but I'll try to maybe to preempt maybe what the member was asking. So we'll start with the incremental financing. So we normally call that incremental financing in terms of, for example, you had started a construction project, it's midway, and you want us to support in terms of funding. So what KMRC has introduced is that we lobbied for this in terms of incremental construction. You find there are some members who have been taking normal loans, and they have channeled the funds towards construction. And they have evidence to confirm that indeed they paid the seller of the land. They have sale agreements, they have fund transfer forms to confirm that indeed they use this money, the money they borrowed towards purchase of land and even construction. So yes, the Sacco can still fund you to complete the house, but you need to bring in bill of quantities for the remaining section of the property, then we can finance. If you want to be funded, the sections that you had the fund, maybe you have a Sacco loan or a bank loan that you had used towards constructing the house. So you need to provide evidence. If it's a Panikesha loan that was issued to you towards maybe buying a house or maybe constructing this house, you need to provide evidence of maybe the sale agreements for purchasing the land, and need to prove with receipts that these funds were utilized towards paying this property, towards buying the land, for example, and also receipts to confirm that you had a contractor and these are the payments that you've been making to the contractor. Then we can support you to consolidate. This is both with the bank loan and with the Sacco loan. So this should be in form of evidence. So you need to provide evidence and pay and evidence of receipts that indeed that these funds were utilized towards constructing the house. If you only need the funds on the remaining section, that is also okay, so long as you provide BQs. Other loan, like if you're applying for, I don't know if this question was in this line. For example, you're applying for a mortgage loan and you want us to support you consolidate other loans. No, we don't consolidate other loans with the mortgage loans. You can only utilize the mortgage loan to either construct or buy a ready house. If you want us to consolidate the existing loan, you have to prove that you indeed use that loan towards paying part of the loan that you want us to support you construct or finish buying part of the amount that is remaining. So this should be supported with evidence. But if the loans that are still existing, for example, college loan, use that money to pay school fees and you're coming for a mortgage, we won't consolidate that education loan. Then if you have exceeded the multiplier, I don't know if this is what the member meant, you need to be within the multiplier for the amount you're borrowing. So the collateral won't cover the multiplier. So if the loan you're borrowing is 10 million, you need to be within, have deposits of 1 million. So if you have anything less than 1 million, you only qualify for the amount that is within 10 million. Then if you've maybe the house is 15 million, you've paid 5 million, we can still fund you the extra 10 million or the full 15 million. So long as you have a receipt to confirm that you paid the seller the 5 million that you're claiming to pay. So it can be either 10 or 15, so long as you can prove that you paid part of the money. I think I've answered all.
Yes. So there's another question here. What mortgage benefits do you have for the diaspora people? And then how do you handle members who are employed but their contracts span 2 years, usually renewed, especially NGOs? To help members, is there a plan to buy off a loan facility and offer a mortgage? Once again, how is the process when Sacco is buying off a mortgage from another bank? We have answered that one. The next one, how do you treat apartments who have not converted their titles and obtained sections titles? You can answer those ones.
Okay, thank you. I also remember there's one question I didn't answer in terms of the flexibility of the repayment period of the mortgage loans. So the mortgage loans are payable within the term. In terms of the maximum time, if the term is 20 years, the loan has to be paid within 20 years. So we can't increase the term, unfortunately. And also subject to your retirement age. So if you're retiring in the next, let's say 10 years, the loan repayment should be within the 10 years, just to clarify that. So the question was for diaspora members. We have issued quite a number of mortgage loans to diaspora members. The requirements are the same. Actually, you can either be in business in diaspora or be in or be a non-salaried diaspora member, meaning you're employed. So we'll just request for the same documents as the payslip and and the documentation that are required, the bank statements and so forth. So the difference comes in terms of sign off of documentation. So at this point, we have had some of our lawyers supporting the members in terms of mailing the documents. They also accept e-signatures on some applications. This is also allowed on their side because we also had the challenge of having these documents mailed, coming back to DHL and so forth. So we accept e-signatures. And also if you're coming home, you can also create time to also, that is in case you're coming, you can also create time to also engage with the lawyer within that window period, have the relevant documents signed before you leave, but also we have provisions for e-signatures. So this we can also guide specifically to members who are in diaspora, who are requesting for support in terms of mortgages. So we'll also take you through with our lawyer and they'll be able to guide you depending on the documents that are required, and they'll also accept copies and so forth. So this is how we treat the diaspora members. So for members who are on contracts, so this is normally a very tricky landing point, but we normally rely on how long the contract has been renewed. So you'll find the members who have had their contracts renewed for more than even 5 years or 10 years. So at this point, we can consider and have at least a flexible repayment for such a member within the retirement age, of course. So we'll also assess the nature of engagement you have with this NGO. How long is the project and so forth. So this is also be based on the length of the project and so forth. So we'll maybe it's unique depending on the type of NGO that you're working for. But if you have been having your contracts renewed over time, yes, we consider and we give you a longer repayment subject to your term of employment. So this is also considered. So it's unique to everyone. I can't say it's an umbrella. It depends on how long your contract has been renewed, what's the nature of the project you're handling, and do you have other sources of income? There's some people who are in NGOs and they have rental income, they have other business. So we request for other sources of income for us to assess and be able to issue the loan within the around your eligibility with the documents that you have requested for. I think for the process for the mortgage buy-off, I think I'd touched on that. So basically what we need as the different stages in terms of I presented this in terms of this stages. So I'm having this projected, so you can just read through in terms of the documentation that we need. So if I can just touch on that quickly, just provide, if you want check off, provide your latest statement, payslip, copy of ID, and the sale agreement if you have. As is, then we'll be able to have it assessed as you progress. If you're non-check off, I've displayed, so let me not go deep into that.
So we have other two questions here. Other financials, sorry.
Sorry, I'm not, sorry. I was to respond on how do we treat the sectional title. So yes, sometimes we have requests on members who have not received the subsectional titles. So long as you have the sale agreement, we can engage the seller to and issue an undertaking on condition that by the time you're starting the charge, the title should have been out. So if that can give them comfort in terms of, we can give them a comfort letter and confirm that you're eligible for the product and they should reserve the apartment for you. But we'll be able to perfect the collateral once the subsectional title is out. So we can't charge a mother title or the green title. We have to wait for the subsectional title to be out. But we always support members in terms of giving comfort letters to confirm that they're eligible and the house can be reserved for them. And we commit to issue an undertaking and a further charge once the subsectional title is out. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question here. Other financial institutions only require a BOQ and from a registered QS. Why does the Sacco requirement I think Francis meant Why does the Sacco require different terms using QS in panel? This is not standard practice. Is there a grace period before payment is due like the banks do and give a grace period of 9 months? Uh, okay, what is required and what is required and what is the process of to transfer a mortgage bank and Sacco? I think that you have answered. I took a loan to buy my land. Is it possible to buy off and offer mortgage for construction? I think that is a repeat. If for the Faraji construction loan, can we negotiate an amount higher than 10 million limit? If one is eligible and can prove they are able to serve the loan? Okay, just answer those ones.
Okay, I'll start with the last one. Yes, if you're for the forager construction, we can have discussions for properties that are more than 10.5, but it will be under Ustawi. But for now, we don't have Ustawi construction, but we can assess your eligibility and have this approved exemptionally. So yes, this can be done. But for KMRC, enjoying the interest rate of 8%, any loan above 10.5 cannot be issued. It can only be applied toward the Ustawi. So which is at 12%. For the grace period, for now, the repayments normally, we don't have a grace period for the construction, but that's a point that we have noted. So we'll assess the possibility of having this, but for now we don't have. We only pay the section that has been disbursed. The good thing with our case, we disburse the loans as soon as you finish the first, the loan is issued immediately. But the repayment is as per the amount that has been issued. But good point noted. We can be able to assess and give feedback maybe on the next presentation on if we can have this considered. Then for the construction loan requirements, actually for construction, no, once you go wrong with the construction, and that's why we normally look for documentation. Only having a BQ and trusting and giving money to a member without assessing the project you're funding, it's very risky. Remember, this is members' money. We are loaning to members. So if you have a contractor, some people have even foremans who have not, or some foremans are good, by the way, some use foremans and they're very good at what they do. So long as we assess and our QS can confirm everything is, the construction is going as required. But we need to have someone supervising the project. You can't just give money without supervision. You have to ensure that indeed this money has not been diverted. The money is being used for construction as per the stages, depending on the BQ. There's a contractual agreement between the member and the contractor. We are having the architects are approved architects. So you have to assess this document because you can't just accept a BQ without architectural drawing. And from a certified architect, you really need to confirm that you're lending to someone who is be able to ensure there's a successful completion of this project. And that's why we are keen in terms of ensuring that we monitor the construction process to the end, and hence the request of the documentations that we are requesting for members.
Okay, we have another one here. Do you finance purchase of an incomplete house? Like okay, just a minute. Do you finance purchase of an incomplete house? Like if I want to buy a house whereby only the shell is done and I have to complete the interior. Then the other one is if I'm an individual without a regular income but can prove inflow of constant cash from my M-Pesa statement, can I be eligible for mortgage? Is the session being recorded and can I get the link? Yes, it's been recorded. We will share it out. The contractor I intend to use may not be able to have a signed agreement, but he's very good. Is this possible? Judy?
Okay, so allow me touch on maybe you're buying a shell. So if you're buying a shell, okay, depends. It will be on which stage, because maybe the house is completed and maybe you need funds for interior, you see that will not be considered as a mortgage. So long as you have like if it's actual construction in terms of constructing the roof, the interior, some of the interior parts, but in terms of okay, it will depend. If the finishing had been done, it just deco. Okay, it depends. If it's deco, no. If it's finishing part of the interior, yes, but we will charge the property subject to the amount you will need for the interior, or maybe constructing the roof, the doors. We will fund that. But if it's for maybe light finishing like decors, no, normal loans. But for heavy interior, yes, and also heavy, maybe major construction, like sometimes you get some member acquires a property and they need to maybe redo the roof. They need to maybe have a little bit of enhancements. So yes, that can be done, but the property will be charged and we go through the mortgage process as per the BQ. And we'll also assess the BQ in terms of what exactly is the BQ intending to address in terms of the issues of construction. What are the areas that are being constructed? That for someone who has land, I had already responded to that. You can buy and build, and explained you can still buy and build immediately. You only buy and build immediately to get a mortgage loan, but for normal land loans, it's for land purchase, sorry, you will process the normal loans. Or for inflow of M-Pesa statements. Okay, for this one is normally a bit tricky, and we have addressed this actually through KMRC. If you don't have, we normally call it the unbanked or the people who have undocumented income, in terms of they have sources of, you can see there's income on their statements, especially M-Pesa statements. SMEs, MSMEs, these are basically Mama Boga, Juakali. And we have tried to seek support from KMRC in terms of addressing this gap. There are people who could wish to own homes, but they can't because they are maybe basically from the informal sector, and they don't have income that can be traced. And you can also not be able to bank on the income because now you don't know the future cash flows, how they will look like. They're not consistent, not predictable. So we've had discussions on this, and there are discussions in terms of having backed such kind of loan. Like, for example, if we issue a type of loan of maybe 1 million, and they give us a guarantee of maybe 300,000. So this is still a feedback that we have tabled with KMRC to help us cushion ourselves when we're lending to such members. So currently, for the members who don't have a consistent cash flow, or cash flow that can maybe is registered, maybe formal, if I may say so. For now, we don't lend, but there is something in the pipeline that is being looked into, especially with the government, so that they can be able to include such members in the housing, with the affordable housing agenda. So this is something which is currently being looked into, and they're looking at giving the banks and circles like a cushion in terms of loss, in terms of risk, so that they can be able to support them cover a certain percent of risk once these funds have been disbursed. So for now, no, but there's something on the pipeline.
Okay, on the chat, there's somebody who had put a question. If all the requirements are provided to the Sacco by the one who wishes to take a mortgage, how long can it take for one to get the construction loan or to start constructing? And then Michael asked, how much is the mortgage relief as a percentage? Those are the last two questions, Judy. I think you've answered most of them. Kindly answer the two.
Okay, I'll start with the mortgage relief. I'll admit for the mortgage relief, it's a calculation done by HR, so I'll not be able to help on that. So maybe if you can engage your HR on how it's calculated, normally subject to the amount issued vis-a-vis other factors. So maybe if you can have HR answer that, or if I'll get an answer to this, I can be able to share. So for now, I can be able. I don't have the actual formula for it, and actually I requested this also to be able to be included on our letters as we communicate. And I requested this from my HR team to support me on the same. But once we have this shared with the HR, they normally have this calculation done based on income, amount issued, interest paid, and so forth. For the mortgage loan, it was what mortgage? Can you buy? Or how long does it take for the construction loan, right? So the mortgage loan for the ready home, it normally takes 1.5 months or 2 months max, depending on the registry. For the construction loans, it also depends on your speed once the loan has been disbursed. Because once we have we'll take 1.5 months on our side in terms of processing, conveyancing, 1 month. Then on your side now, it will depend on your speed in terms of the levels of construction as per the BQ. The faster you move, the faster the project will complete. But on our side, it's also 1.5 months or 2 months max, depending on the time it takes to lodge the charge. Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, members, and thank you very much, Judy. I see we are. Yes, you've answered the questions, and I can see most of them have answered. You have also answered the ones that are on chat. Any other that may have been left out, we can continue discussing them via our emails. Ask us the questions and we are going to respond. Thank you very much, members, for attending this webinar. We will continue updating you on the mortgage product. It is the best place to be, especially when you need a home. Keep checking us out, and we'll continue organizing such webinars for you so that we can educate you on what to do and how to go about it. Thank you very much, Judy, our guest speaker. We are happy today. Thank you, members. We are going to share this particular uh, webinar online. We will share to all members so that in case of anything, we can always reach out to you. Thank you and good evening.